All right, so today let's take a deep dive into Ford's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Yeah,
We're going to
definitely.
be looking beyond just the numbers,
hmm
trying to understand what they tell us about the story of where Ford is right now and where they're headed.
Yeah, it's a company trying to do something really, really tricky right now.
Yeah,
Bridging that gap, between their traditional strength, which has been combustion engine vehicles,
right.
and this rapidly evolving electric vehicle market.
Yeah.
I mean, and what we see in this earnings call is how they're attempting to do just that.
Yeah, so let's break this down a bit,
Okay.
starting with the big picture. Ford has seen 10 straight quarters of revenue growth.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, impressive in any industry,
Yeah,
but especially the auto world with all the upheavals they've been going through recently. So
absolutely.
what's driving this success, do you think?
Well, part of it is this savvy approach to different types of vehicles. They're
Ah,
not just going all in on EVs like some of their competitors are doing.
right.
In fact, they've doubled down on hybrid trucks
Interesting.
and actually grabbed a massive 80% of that U.S. market.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah.
While other companies were scrambling to sort of catch up on the electric front,
hmm
Ford was quietly generating a ton of revenue from these hybrids.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity and they took it.
That's a really smart move.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room now, though.
Okay.
EV price war.
hmm
This is global, right?
It is.
Driven by new models flooding the market,
Yeah.
regulations pushing manufacturers towards electric.
hmm
So how is Ford navigating this very tricky situation?
They're acknowledging that they can't ignore it.
Right.
Nobody in the industry can at this point.
Yeah.
But instead of panicking, they're taking this like two-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, aggressive cost reduction.
Hmm.
I mean, they've already slashed $1 billion from their EV production costs this year alone.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. And then second, a laser focus on making their existing EV models profitable
Okay.
within the next 12 months.
So no more playing the long game. They need to see returns on their electric investments now.
Exactly.
What else stood out to you from the earnings call in terms of their approach to EVs?
Their emphasis on LFP batteries,
Okay.
lithium iron phosphate.
Mm-hmm.
These are cheaper to produce.
Yeah.
And Ford is going to be the first to manufacture them in the U.S.,
Wow.
which puts them in a really good position to capitalize on the production tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act.
So smart, very strategic. Okay, so cost cutting is not the whole story here, though.
Right.
Ford is also trying to change how they do business fundamentally, especially with their Ford Pro division.
Yeah.
Now, this is where they're targeting commercial customers,
Right.
not just selling them vehicles, but bundling vehicles with software repair services, like the whole package.
Yeah.
What's the thinking there?
It's about moving beyond just that one-time sale
Okay.
and creating a much more stable revenue stream.
Okay, so recurring revenue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ford Pro is generating high-margin recurring revenue through subscriptions.
Okay.
Think 50% growth in subscription revenue overall.
That's huge.
It is, and a 30% jump just this past quarter.
Really? Wow. And those subscription margins are reportedly over 50%. I mean,
It's impressive.
it's not just selling cars. That's starting to look a little bit like a tech company business model.
Exactly. Ford is aiming to become more than just a car manufacturer.
Right?
They want to be a mobility solutions provider, especially for businesses.
Yeah.
And that's where Ford Pro really comes in.
Okay, so we've got revenue growth, a smart approach to this EV market, and this really intriguing Ford Pro development. But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
It's not.
The transcript also highlights some challenges,
Yeah.
particularly around costs and warranty issues.
Yeah, these are definitely areas where Ford is facing some headwinds.
Yeah.
Warranty costs in particular are eating into their profits.
Okay.
Now, they are seeing some internal improvements in quality, like their 3-month in-service quality is up 31%,
Right.
but those improvements take time to show up in the bottom line.
Yeah. Of course, it's a slow-moving ship to turn around.
It is, especially when you're a company as large as Ford.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's their outlook on these challenges?
They're being cautiously optimistic,
Okay.
projecting a full-year adjusted EBIT of around $10 billion, which is good,
Yeah?
but lower than they initially hoped for.
Right.
These cost and warranty issues are definitely holding them back from reaching their full potential.
Yeah, so they're walking a bit of a tightrope, celebrating wins, but acknowledging that there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, for sure.
And amidst all of this, they've got something very exciting brewing.
What's that?
A Skunk Works project for a new electric pickup truck.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
So this is a mid-size electric pickup designed by a dedicated team in California.
Okay.
And what's got everybody buzzing is that it's built with cost competitiveness in mind.
Interesting.
Specifically, they're targeting the cost structure of Chinese automakers who are now manufacturing in Mexico.
Wow. So Ford's serious about going head-to-head on price.
Yeah, and they're not just talking, they've already secured quotes for 60% of the parts for this truck.
Oh, wow.
So they seem pretty confident that they can hit these pretty aggressive cost targets.
Yeah.
What else makes this Skunk Works project so unique?
It's all about simplification.
Okay.
They've streamlined the design, reduced the number of parts, and are even using cutting-edge manufacturing techniques like unit casting to lower production costs.
Wow. So they're really rethinking how EVs are built from the ground up.
Yeah, completely.
Sounds like they're taking a page from the playbook of those agile tech startups.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered a lot of ground revenue growth, a very strategic approach to this EV market,
Yeah,
shaking things up with this Ford Pro business model. But those cost and warranty issues are still looming large.
definitely.
It'll be interesting to see how they tackle those in the coming months.
Absolutely. This is a company in transition,
Yeah,
trying to bridge the old and the new, and that makes them super fascinating to watch.
for sure. It's fascinating to see how Ford's balancing all their global operations amidst all these changes.
Yeah.
The transcript breaks down their performance by region, and their international restructuring is really paying off.
Yeah, what's really striking is that all of their international regions are now collectively profitable.
Wow.
That's a complete 180 from just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, those same regions were actually a drag on earnings.
Wow. Yeah, and they managed to turn that around without too much disruption,
Right.
which is pretty impressive, you know?
Yeah.
Some competitors are still struggling to restructure,
Mm-hmm.
especially in China. How's Ford approaching that market?
They're taking what they're calling an asset-light approach.
Okay.
Essentially, they're partnering with local companies and focusing more on exports
Yeah.
rather than trying to run their own manufacturing operations over there.
Interesting. So they're being strategic with where they invest their resources.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in a complex market like China.
Right.
And this approach seems to be working.
Oh, yeah, definitely. China and its associated exports are projected to bring in over $600 million in EBIT
Wow.
this year.
That's a huge contribution.
It is.
It really shows that they're adapting to the realities of the global market.
Yeah.
But let's circle back to the EV landscape for a second,
Okay.
because that global price war we were talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it's really heating up.
It is.
What new insights did we get from this earnings call?
Ford acknowledges that this price pressure is affecting everybody.
Right.
I mean, we're seeing a ton of new EV models hitting the market.
Yeah.
Some companies are slashing prices just to move inventory.
Yeah.
It's a really tough environment right now.
And Ford's own EV sales are feeling the impact.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they are seeing volume growth,
Hmm.
but it's being offset by these price declines.
Right.
So how are they responding?
They're staying laser focused on profitability.
Okay.
They're not interested in chasing volume at the expense of margins.
Yeah, makes sense.
Their goal is to make their existing EV models profitable
Okay.
and to not rely on government incentives to do it.
So they're taking a long-term view here,
Right.
making those strategic choices,
Yeah.
like producing the LFP batteries here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
to take advantage of those IRA tax credits.
Exactly.
But ultimately, the goal is to build EVs that are competitive on their own merits.
Yeah, that's the key.
So a focus on profitability, it's crucial right now,
It really is.
especially when you see all these EV startups,
Mm-hmm.
even some of the established automakers,
Yeah.
just burning through cash.
Yeah, at an alarming rate.
Ford's taking a much more measured and, I think, sustainable approach.
Definitely. It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
between investing in the future of EVs and delivering returns to shareholders right now.
Right, absolutely. Speaking of investments in the future, let's talk a little bit more about that Skunk Works electric truck.
Okay.
It seems like it has the potential to be a game changer.
It definitely does this mid-size pickup
Mm-hmm.
designed by that team out in California.
Yeah.
It's turning heads because it's designed to be cost competitive
Okay.
with the Chinese manufacturers who are setting up shop in Mexico.
So a direct challenge.
Yeah,
And again, they're not just hoping for the best.
right.
They've already secured quotes for 60% of the parts
Wow.
for this truck. So they're confident that they can hit those really ambitious cost targets.
It sounds like it.
What's so radical about this approach?
They've completely rethought how EVs are built.
Okay.
They've simplified the design,
Hmm.
reduced the number of parts,
Okay.
and they're working with suppliers earlier in the process to streamline everything.
Okay.
They're even using these innovative manufacturing techniques like unit casting to reduce costs even further.
So it's like they've taken this really lean, agile mindset from the tech world
Mm-hmm.
and applied it to automotive manufacturing.
Exactly. This skunkwork project is more than just a truck.
Right.
It's a statement
Yeah.
about how Ford is willing to challenge conventions and disrupt the industry.
It embodies their commitment to innovation
Right.
and their willingness to take risks,
Absolute.
which is really exciting to see.
It is.
And this same spirit is evident in the Ford Pro division,
Mm-hmm.
which is really exceeding expectations
Yes.
and becoming a real cornerstone of their strategy.
Yeah.
Ford Pro's success is a testament to their understanding of this changing automotive landscape.
Yeah, I think so.
They're not just a car company anymore.
Right.
They're evolving into this mobility solutions provider,
Mm-hmm.
especially for businesses.
And that's where the real potential lies.
Yeah.
Ford Pro isn't just about selling trucks.
Right.
It's about creating this whole ecosystem of vehicles,
Okay.
software and services that generates recurring revenue
Right.
and fosters that customer loyalty.
Absolutely. Their subscription revenue is growing so rapidly,
It is.
and the margins are very impressive.
Yeah, they are. It's a clear sign that they're on the right track with this approach.
Yeah, Ford Pro highlights their ability to identify these new opportunities and capitalize on them.
Yeah, they're not just reacting to trends.
Right.
They're actively shaping them.
But it's important to remember that they're not operating in a vacuum.
Right.
They're facing some real challenges,
Yeah.
like those persistent warranty costs
Mm-hmm.
and the pressure of this EV price war.
Right. How are they approaching these headwinds?
Well, they're acknowledging the difficulties,
Yeah.
but they remain committed to addressing them head on.
Yeah, those warranty costs are a major drag on profitability.
Yeah.
And they're working really hard to improve quality and reduce those expenses.
It's a complex issue,
It is.
and it's going to take time to see those improvements in their financials,
Right.
but they are making progress.
Yeah.
What about the broader economic climate?
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of talk about a potential recession,
Yeah.
and that could have a huge impact on the whole auto industry.
Oh, definitely. That's a big factor to consider.
Yeah.
The auto industry is cyclical, and Ford is not immune to economic downturns.
Right, but they do have a history of weathering storms
Right.
and
Wow.
emerging stronger.
Yeah, they do.
They've been through tough times before,
Mm-hmm.
and their experience combined with the leadership team's focus on the long game
Right.
gives them, I think, a really solid foundation to navigate whatever's ahead.
Yeah, they're making smart decisions
Mm-hmm.
and investments that are going to position them for success in the coming years.
So what's the outlook for Ford in the near future?
Well,
What can we expect to see?
they're projecting a flat to slightly higher sales market
Okay.
in both the U.S. and Europe.
Right.
They're also expecting continued strength in that Ford Pro division,
Yeah.
which has been a real bright spot.
It has, but there's still a lot of uncertainty around those warranty costs
Right.
and the overall pricing environment.
Yeah, especially in the EV market.
Yeah, those factors could definitely impact their profitability in the short term.
For sure, however, Ford is clearly committed to tackling these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
They're focused on improving quality, reducing costs, and continuing to innovate across their product lineup.
It's going to be fascinating to watch how they navigate all these complexities
Absolutely.
and continue to evolve in the coming months.
And that skunkworks truck.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that.
For sure.
It could be the thing that really propels them into this new era of innovation and success,
Yeah,
especially in this crazy EV market.
absolutely. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Ford's Q3 2024 earnings call.
We have?
And
Yeah.
it's clear they're at a crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to balance their legacy business
Yeah.
with these big ambitions for an electric future.
It is a really fascinating transition to witness.
Yeah.
I mean, they're celebrating these significant wins like consistent revenue growth
Yeah.
and the success of Ford Pro,
Hmm.
but at the same time grappling with those challenges like
Right.
warranty costs and this intense competition in the EV market.
So if we were to kind of distill all of this down,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways? The things that really matter for somebody trying to understand Ford's trajectory.
Yeah, I'd say the first takeaway is that Ford is not afraid to make bold moves.
Okay.
I mean, their asset-light approach in China
Mm-hmm.
and their really aggressive push to make EVs profitable quickly
Right.
shows that they're willing to adapt and take some risks.
And they're not just reacting to the EV trend either.
No, they're not.
They're trying to shape it,
Right.
as we see with that Skunkworks project,
Yeah.
that electric truck. That seems to be a statement about their commitment to competing on cost and technology.
Absolutely. That truck, with its simplified design
Mhm.
and those new manufacturing processes, could really be a preview of how Ford plans to set themselves apart in this EV market.
Yeah, another key takeaway, I think, is the strategic importance of Ford Pro.
Yeah.
This is not just some kind of side hustle.
No, not at all.
It's a fundamental shift in how they're doing business,
Mm-hmm.
moving beyond just selling a car to creating those ongoing revenue streams
Right.
through subscriptions and services.
It's a really smart move, especially as those lines between the automotive and tech industries keep blurring.
Yeah.
Ford Pro puts them in a really good position to be a leader in providing those mobility solutions for businesses.
Right, which is a huge growth area.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
There are definitely some speed bumps along the way.
Oh, there are.
Those warranty costs are a drag.
Yeah.
And while they're making progress on quality, it takes time for those gains to show up in the financials.
For sure. And that EV price war is a real wild card.
Yeah.
It's forcing every company in the industry to adapt.
Yeah.
And Ford's no exception. How they manage that pressure while still hitting those profitability targets is going to be something to watch closely.
So the big question is, can they pull it off?
Right.
Can they become this tech-forward mobility solutions provider
Mm-hmm.
while still maintaining their strength in that traditional auto market?
It's a really complex challenge, but they have a lot going for them.
Yeah.
Strong leadership, a clear vision, and a willingness to innovate.
Right.
The coming months will tell, but I think one thing's for sure, Ford's a company worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Their journey, I think, is really going to mirror how the whole automotive industry evolves.
This deep dive has given us a great glimpse, I think, into the inner workings of a company undergoing pretty remarkable transformation.
Yeah.
It's a story of innovation and adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
This relentless pursuit of a sustainable future in a world that's changing so rapidly.
And it really does underscore the fact that we are living in a time of just unprecedented change in the automotive world.
Yeah.
The choices Ford makes, the challenges they overcome, and the innovations they bring to market
Right.
will likely have ripple effects across the whole industry.
So as always, stay curious. Keep asking those questions.
Yeah.
And join us next time for another deep dive into a topic that matters.